The 2016 Suicide Squad movie is an incoherent mess. The plot is all over the place and the characters aren't that interesting. And that's all you need to know. I'm not gonna do the review anymore. Goodbye. Okay, I was kidding. Calm down. Don't scroll away yet. Before I begin the review, as always, I will be giving some context for the movie. If you don't need it, you can always skip ahead using the timestamp I put in the video description. Welcome to part 3 of my DCEU movies reviews mini-series, where, as the title suggests, I give my opinions on all 15 movies of the DCEU. I cover each movie in its own episode, and at the end, I will be making a 16th episode where I rank them. How did the Suicide Squad come to be? Well, DC saw audiences' negative feedback of Batman v Superman and also their extremely positive reaction of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool. So DC tried to turn Suicide Squad into those. The problem was that the movie was almost done at the time, with David Ayer as the director. It was going to be following the dark and depressing tone of the previous two movies. Therefore, they compromised by keeping some of the original script as it was, because they didn't have enough time to alter it any further. Yet, that didn't save the movie at all. Audiences still reacted negatively, and for good reason, which I'll explain later. The director would later on say that his original cut was better, but we don't know for sure as DC released another director's cut of a movie, so maybe it's good that we didn't get the original version of the movie. The movie had a lot of big name actors attached to it, like Will Smith and Jared Leto. As always, I'll talk about the positives first, but let's begin. Let's get this over with. Here is my review on. Really the movie opens in Belle Reve, the maximum super prison that contains some of the world's most powerful villains, and we get introduced to the main characters in the process. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is actually a pretty good choice. She does manage to capture Harley's craziness. Some of the costume designs are pretty cool too. That's like pretty much the only thing that's good about this movie. On to the negatives. Will Smith is Deadshot. In my opinion, this doesn't work at all. He doesn't have the serious persona that is suitable for a character like Deadshot. Or maybe that's just my point of view ever since I watched After Earth. This movie does a huge injustice to all of its characters. They feel one-dimensional. Deadshot's the guy that's good with guns, Killer Croc is a giant, well, crocodile, El Diablo's a fire guy, Captain Boomerang is Australian with a boomerang. Pretty straightforward stuff. Deadshot's backstory, the movie shows us that Batman picks a fight with Deadshot for no reason. Batman would never attempt to take down a villain when a child, even if it's the child of a supervillain, is around, as the child could get injured or killed. Moreover, Batman even says, I don't want to do this in front of your daughter, so don't. There's no reason for you to do this in the first place. Also, they want me to believe that this version of Batman has no issues with killing, yet criminals like Joker, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot are still around. How does that make any sense? The pacing in this movie sucks. One moment rushing through the origin story of characters like Harley Quinn, but then we get dragged out scenes like this.
I don't want no beef.
You want no beef? You don't want no beef? You don't want no beef?
Speaking of Harley Quinn, the movie says that she's more fearless than the Joker, yet the first time we get a decent look at her, she's screaming that she can't swim when Joker decides to ditch the car in the water. If she was more fearless than the Joker, as the movie suggests, she'd at least be just as calm as the Joker here. The Joker somehow gets away despite being in the same car that Harley was. How is he already gone? The movie doesn't show us that he jumped out of the car or anything of the sort, so how did he disappear so quickly? But it's convenient for the plot so Batman can jump in and save Harley. The movie shows us that Amanda Waller is pushing for a program called Task Force X because the Earth doesn't have a protector against potential threats now that Superman is dead. So her idea is to recruit the bad guys to fight other bad guys. She explained this to a bunch of people at a table. Then the next scene directly shows us that she's explaining it to a bunch of people at a bigger table. So why show this twice? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't mind if this happened later on in the movie to show that her idea is being accepted, but these two scenes happening in such a short amount of time feels redundant. The movie shows us that she hates the human part of bad guys she's recruiting because she wants them to be obedient soldiers with powers, and yet she goes out of her way to hire normal humans for her team. Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Katana, and even Deadshot don't even have any powers. Deadshot's like above average, I guess, compared to the others because he has like super accuracy. He aims really well. He has like near perfect accuracy. So I guess he makes sense. But characters like Harley Quinn, Katana, and Captain Boomerang, I guess because Katana has a magic sword, so maybe they also gave her a pass, but she does nothing throughout the entire movie, so we can't really judge. The movie also has Amanda Waller seemingly form a team for no reason because the villain that they're hired to fight actually gets unleashed later in the movie after they're being assembled. So she's quite literally assembling the team for nothing. Moving on. Enchantress arrives, her brother kills a bunch of people, then Task Force X is hired to fight them. My question is, where are the other heroes that exist? Batman and Wonder Woman already established characters from the previous movie, and this movie shows that the Flash is also an active character because he's the one who took down Captain Boomerang. So why aren't any of them helping? The movie introduces so many characters in such a short amount of time that it makes me forget half the information that was shared. We jump from Deadshot to Harley to Captain Boomerang to Diablo to Killer Croc to Enchantress to Rick Flag Jr. in about 20 minutes of runtime, which is crazy. This movie also has the same issue as Man of Steel, where you reach a certain point that you feel like the movie's almost over, only to realize there's still about 40 minutes of the movie left. Killer Croc does nothing throughout this entire movie. Joker feels more like an inconvenience than anything, and he's also a very annoying one at that. Enchantress feels like a villain of the week. She just gets taken down in less than 20 minutes. Deadshot feels boring. Captain Boomerang, he's just a waste of space. I don't know why he's included in the movie to begin with. The movie feels all over the place in a way that I can't properly explain. It's like it's one of those movies that you'll have to watch yourself to understand why it's bad. The dialogue also feels so unnatural and awkward. Like it's really weird. Alright, to recap what I all just said, the pacing is weird, the dialogue isn't great, the characters like Amanda Waller don't have a real reason to form the Suicide Squad, of any real threat, the characters feel one-dimensional with not much personality, the color grading is weird, one moment it's got a bland tone, then it flashes you with bright colors, the acting isn't great, the casting choices are weird, the whole plot feels all over the place, and the soundtrack isn't that great. Having recognizable songs doesn't make a good recognizable soundtrack if the songs aren't used properly. I give this movie a half star on Letterboxd. Next DCEU movie review will be about Wonder Woman, so subscribe to see the video when it comes out. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see part 1 of my DCEU movie reviews, I suggest to click the playlist here where you watch. If you want to see the rest of my DCEU movie reviews, I suggest to click the playlist over here. The first one is about Man of Steel, and I think you'll enjoy it even though it's just more of a rant than a review. The second one of Batman v Superman is an actual review, so I think you'll enjoy that one as well. But that's all I have to say for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that beautiful stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.